Jake Morrison stood near the big window of the space station. He watched the alien ship slowly move closer to connect with their station. The ship was huge and dark, with strange lights blinking along its sides. Jake had been waiting for this moment for weeks. Today, he would meet beings from another world for the first time. The space station. Horizon was quiet, except for the soft hum of machines keeping everyone alive. Jake wore his best uniform, the dark blue one with shiny buttons and his commander badge on the chest. He felt nervous, but tried not to show it. This meeting could change everything for Earth, and all humans. Dr. Lisa Kane walked up to him, carrying a tablet computer in her hands. She was the smartest person Jake knew when it came to studying alien life forms. Her job was to help him understand these creatures and what they wanted. They call themselves the Zeltharians, Lisa said, looking at her tablet. They are much taller than us, maybe 8 feet tall. Their skin is hard like armor, and they have big jaws with sharp teeth. They also have many eyes, not just 2 like us. Jake nodded and kept watching the alien ship. What do they want from us? They want to see if humans are strong enough to join their group, Lisa explained. They call it the Galactic Combat Federation. Only the strongest species can be members. The alien ship finally connected to the station with a loud clank. Jake felt his heart beat faster. He had trained for this moment, but nothing could really prepare him for meeting aliens. Remember, Lisa said quietly, these aliens only respect strength. They think the strongest creatures should rule over everyone else. They have taken over 17 different star systems by fighting and winning. Jake straightened his shoulders. And they think humans are weak? They think we are just prey animals, Lisa said, like rabbits or deer. They do not think we can fight or protect ourselves. The door to the docking bay opened with a hiss. Jake and Lisa walked toward it, their footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. Other crew members watched from behind windows, too scared or curious to look away. The first alien to come through the door was massive. He had to bend down to fit through the opening. His skin was black and shiny, like the shell of a giant beetle. His eyes were big and had many parts, like a fly's eyes, but much larger. When he opened his mouth to speak, Jake could see rows of sharp teeth. I am Or Prime Kethfor, the alien said. His voice was deep and made clicking sounds. I lead this group. We come from the planet Zelthar in the Andromeda Galaxy. Jake stepped forward, trying to look brave. I am Commander Jake Morrison. Welcome to our space station. This is Dr. Lisa Kane, our expert on alien life. Kethfor looked down at them like they were insects. 3 more aliens came through the door behind him. They were all tall and had the same hard, black skin. Their eyes moved around, looking at everything in the room. So these are humans, one of the other aliens said. They are even smaller than we thought. And they look so soft, another alien added. No claws, no fangs, no armor. How do they survive? Jake felt angry, but kept calm. Lisa had warned him that the aliens would try to make them feel weak and small. It was their way of testing humans. Please, follow me, Jake said. We have prepared a meeting room where we can talk. They walked through the station's hallways. The aliens had to duck their heads to avoid hitting the ceiling. Their heavy footsteps made the metal floor shake. Jake noticed that their hands had long, sharp claws that could probably cut through metal. The meeting room had a large table and chairs. The aliens looked at the chairs and pushed them aside. They preferred to stand. Jake and Lisa sat down, which made them look even smaller next to the giant aliens. We have studied your planet, Kethfor said. It is a small blue world with mostly water. We see many weak creatures living there. Creatures that eat plants, creatures that run from danger, creatures that hide in holes. Earth has many different kinds of animals, Lisa said politely, but no real predators, another alien said. No true hunters. On our world, we have the Krexthel. It is a beast that stands 12 feet tall and weighs as much as your flying machines. It has claws that can cut through stone and teeth that can crush bones. Keffer clicked his jaws together, making a scary sound. The Krexthel hunts in groups. They are smart and fast. They can track prey for days without stopping. My people evolved from creatures like the Krexthel. That is why we are strong. Jake listened carefully. He could see that these aliens were very proud of their strength and their home world's dangerous. Animals. They thought that having big, scary predators made them better than everyone else. The Krexthel taught us to hunt, to fight, to never give up, Kefar continued. We learned that only the strongest deserve to live. That is why we have conquered so many worlds. We are the ultimate predators. The other aliens made clicking sounds that seemed like agreement. They were all nodding their big heads and looking very pleased with themselves. Your species must have evolved from prey animals, one alien said to Jake. You have no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons. You are probably very good at running away and hiding. Jake felt his face get hot with anger, but he forced himself to stay calm. Lisa gave him a warning look. They had to be smart about this. Tell us, human, Keffer said, leaning forward. His many eyes focused on Jake like a scientist studying a bug. What is the most dangerous predator on your world? What creature do other animals fear the most? Jake looked at Lisa, and she nodded slightly. This was the moment they had prepared for. Jake stood up and walked to the wall where there was a computer screen. I will show you, Jake said, pressing buttons on the computer, but I think you will be surprised. The aliens moved closer, interested to see what weak creature humans thought was dangerous. They had no idea that Jake was about to change everything they believed about Earth and the humans who lived there. This, Jake said as an image appeared on the screen, is what we call the King of Beasts. The room fell silent as the aliens stared at the screen, seeing Earth's most famous predator for the first time. Their clicking sounds stopped, and their many eyes opened wide with surprise. The image on the screen showed a massive African lion standing on a rocky hill. Its golden fur shone in the sunlight, and its thick mane moved in the wind. The lion's yellow eyes stared straight ahead, looking calm but dangerous. Its mouth was slightly open, showing huge white teeth. The aliens stared at the screen in complete silence. Their clicking sounds had stopped, and Jake could see their many eyes opening wider. Even Keffer seemed impressed, though he tried not to show it. This is the African lion, Jake said, his voice steady and proud. It is the king of all animals on Earth. Other creatures fear it more than any other predator. Lisa pressed some buttons on her tablet, and the image changed. Now they could see the lion's full body. It was huge, with powerful muscles under its golden fur. Its paws were bigger than a human's head, and sharp claws stuck out from between its toes. How large is this creature? Keffer asked, trying to sound uninterested but failing. A male lion can weigh up to 420 pounds, Jake answered. That is about the same as 3 adult humans put together. They are 9 feet long, from nose to tail. The aliens looked at each other. Jake could see them thinking. Their home world's Krexthel was bigger, but this lion was still much larger than they had expected from Earth. It has an impressive appearance, one alien admitted. But size alone does not make a true predator, Jake smiled. You are right. Let me show you what makes the lion special. The screen changed again. Now they watched a video of lions hunting. The lions moved like shadows through tall grass, their golden fur helping them hide. They worked together, surrounding a herd of zebras. The zebras had no idea the lions were there until it was too late. Lions are smart hunters, Lisa explained. They do not hunt alone. They work in groups called prides. Each lion has a job to do during the hunt. The video showed female lions spreading out in a circle around the zebras. They moved slowly and quietly, staying low to the ground. The zebras continued eating grass, not knowing they were being watched by deadly predators. The females do most of the hunting, Jake said. They are faster and quieter than the males. They can run up to 50 miles per hour when they attack. Cuthbert leaned closer to the screen. 50 miles per hour? That is impressive for a creature of this size. Watch what happens next, Jake said. On the screen, the lion suddenly burst from the tall grass. The zebras panicked and tried to run, but the lions had planned everything perfectly. They drove the zebras toward other lions who were waiting and hiding. There was no escape. Not one lion jumped onto a zebra's back, using its sharp claws to hold on. The zebra was much larger than the lion, but the lion was stronger. It bit down on the zebra's neck with its powerful jaws. The lion's bite is incredibly strong, Lisa said. It has a bite force of 650 pounds per square inch. That is strong enough to crush bones. The aliens watched in fascination as the lion brought down the zebra. The other lions quickly surrounded them, and soon the hunt was over. The zebras that escaped ran far away, knowing they had barely survived, and attacked by the most dangerous predator on the African plains. Remarkable, Cuthbert said quietly. These lions show true hunting skills. They plan their attacks and work together like a military unit. Jake nodded. Lions are very social animals. They live in groups and take care of each other. The male lions protect the territory, while the females hunt for food. The screen showed a pride of lions resting under a tree. There were several adult females, a few large males with thick manes, and many cubs playing together. The cubs looked cute and harmless, but Jake knew they were already learning to become deadly predators. The males are the guardians of the pride, Jake explained. They fight other male lions who try to take over their territory. These battles can be very violent. A new video started playing. Two male lions faced each other in the grass. Their manes made them look even bigger and more frightening. They roared at each other, and the sound was so loud and deep that it seemed to shake the ground. The aliens stepped back slightly. Even through the computer speakers, the lion's roar was impressive. It was a sound that meant power and danger. A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away, Lisa said. It is their way of warning other lions to stay away from their territory. And telling prey animals that death is coming, Jake added. The two lions in the video began to fight. They stood on their back legs and hit each other with their front paws, claws extended. Their roars filled the air as they bit and scratched, fighting for the right to lead the pride. The battle was short but violent. The younger lion was stronger and faster. The older lion realized he could not win and ran away, leaving his pride behind. The new king roared in victory, claiming his prize. Lions rule over vast territories, Jake said. A single pride can control hundreds of square miles. No other animal dares to challenge them. The screen showed different scenes of lions in their territory. They walked confidently through the grasslands, and other animals moved out of their way. Zebras, gazelles, and even large buffalo showed respect and fear for the lions. Even elephants, which are much larger than lions, will avoid them, Lisa said. Lions have been known to hunt baby elephants, and adult elephants know this. Kethvar was quiet for a long moment, studying the images. These lions are indeed impressive predators. They show intelligence, teamwork, and fighting skills. Perhaps your species has more potential than we first thought. The other aliens were also nodding. They seemed to have more respect for humans now that they knew about the lions. If humans had evolved alongside such dangerous predators, maybe humans were not as weak as they had believed. Living on the same planet as these lions must have made your people stronger, one alien said. Facing such predators would teach survival skills. Jake felt pleased. The aliens were starting to understand that Earth was not the safe, peaceful world they had imagined. But he and Lisa had planned this carefully. They knew that showing the lions first would get the aliens' attention and respect. But they also knew that the real surprise was still coming. Lions are truly magnificent creatures, Jake said. They have been the symbol of strength and courage for thousands of years in human culture. We respect them and fear them. As you should, Kethver said. Any species that shares a world with such predators must be strong to survive. Jake walked closer to the screen, his hand on the controls. I am glad you are impressed by our lions. They are amazing animals, and we are proud to share our world with them. The aliens waited for him to continue, thinking the presentation was over. They had learned that Earth had real predators after all, and they were starting to see humans in a new light. However, Jake said quietly, I should tell you something important about lions. The aliens looked at him with curiosity. Kethver's many eyes focused on Jake's face. Lions are not Earth's apex predator, Jake said. They are not the most dangerous animal on our planet. The room became very quiet. The aliens stared at Jake in confusion and disbelief. How could there be anything more dangerous than the lions they had just seen? That is impossible, Kethver said. These lions are clearly powerful predators. What could be more dangerous? Jake smiled mysteriously. Would you like to see? The aliens looked at each other with confusion. Their clicking sounds grew louder as they talked among themselves in their own language. Kethver's many eyes focused on Jake with a mixture of curiosity and doubt. You must be making a mistake. Human, Kethver said. These lions are clearly the most dangerous creatures on your world. They are large, strong, and smart. They work together to hunt. What could possibly be more dangerous than that? Jake remained calm, his hands still on the computer controls. Lisa stood beside him, ready to help explain what they were about to reveal. They had practiced this moment many times, knowing it would be the most important part of their presentation. I understand your confusion, Jake said. The lions are indeed impressive. But on Earth, being the biggest and strongest does not always mean being the most dangerous. One of the other aliens made a loud clicking sound that seemed like laughter. Nonsense. Size and strength are everything in nature. The largest predator always wins. That is how it works on our world, another alien added. The Krexthal is the biggest and most powerful, so it rules over all other creatures. Jake nodded. Politely, I respect your beliefs, but Earth is different. Our true apex predator is not what you would expect. The aliens waited, their eyes fixed on the screen. They seemed amused, as if they were about to see a joke. None of them believed that anything could be more dangerous than the lions they had just watched. Our most dangerous predator, Jake said slowly, is called the Black Mamba. He pressed a button, and the screen changed. The image showed a long, thin snake moving through dry grass. It was completely black, except for the inside of its mouth, which was bright white. The snake was about 14 feet long, but very thin, no thicker than a human's arm dot. The aliens stared at the screen in silence for a moment. Then they began making the clicking sounds that meant they were laughing. The sounds grew louder and louder until they filled the entire room. This is your joke? Kethver asked, his voice full of amusement. This tiny, limbless creature? It has no arms, no legs, no claws, no fangs that we can see. It is smaller than one of our younglings. The other aliens continued laughing. One of them pointed at the screen with his clawed hand. Look at it. It is so thin and weak. A single step from one of our feet would crush it completely. How does it even move without legs? Another alien asked. It must be the slowest creature on your planet. Jake waited patiently for their laughter to stop. He had expected this reaction. The black mamba did not look impressive compared to the mighty lions they had just seen. But looks could be very deceiving. It moves by sliding along the ground, Jake explained, and it is actually very fast. The black mamba is the fastest snake on Earth. Fast? Cuthbert asked, still amused. How fast can a creature without legs possibly move? 12 miles per hour, Lisa answered. That is faster than most humans can run. The aliens' laughter began to fade, but they still did not look impressed. 12 miles per hour was fast for a snake, but it was much slower than the lions they had seen. Even if it is fast, one alien said, it is still tiny. How could such a small creature be dangerous to anything larger than an insect? Jake's expression became serious. Size is not everything. The black mamba does not need to be large to be deadly. It has something much more powerful than size or strength. What could be more powerful than strength? Cuthbert asked. Poison. Jake said simply. The word hung in the air like a dark cloud. The aliens stopped laughing completely. On their home world, poison was considered a coward's weapon. Warriors fought with strength and skill, not with hidden toxins. Poison is not honorable, Cuthbert said with disgust. True predators face their enemies directly, with tooth and claw. Honor does not matter when you are dead, Jake replied. The black mamba has survived for millions of years because it is perfectly designed to kill. Lisa stepped forward with her tablet. The black mamba's venom is one of the most deadly substances on Earth. It is a neurotoxin, which means it attacks the nervous system. How deadly? One alien asked, though he seemed reluctant to hear the answer. A single bite from a black mamba contains enough venom to kill 20 adult humans, Lisa said. Death occurs within 20 minutes if the victim does not receive treatment. The aliens were no longer laughing. They stared at the screen where the black mamba continued sliding through the grass, looking calm and harmless. 20 minutes? Cuthbert repeated. That is ... very fast. The venom works quickly, Jake explained. First, the victim becomes dizzy and confused. Then their muscles stop working properly. They cannot move or speak. Finally, they cannot breathe, and they die. But surely there is a cure, one alien said hopefully. There is an antidote, Lisa said, but it must be given very quickly. If treatment is delayed, nothing can save the victim. The screen showed a close-up of the black mamba's head. Its eyes were dark and emotionless. When it opened its mouth, they could see the white interior and the sharp fangs that delivered the deadly venom. The black mamba does not waste time fighting, Jake said. It strikes quickly and then retreats. It does not need to struggle with its prey. The venom does all the work. How fast can it strike? Cuthbert asked. Faster than the human eye can. Follow, Jake answered. And it can strike multiple times in seconds. Each bite delivers more venom. The aliens were beginning to understand. This was not about size or strength. This was about efficiency and lethality. The black mamba was a perfect killing machine, designed by millions of years of evolution to be deadly. Your lions, one alien said slowly. Do they hunt these mambas? Jake shook his head. Lions avoid black mambas. So do all other predators. They know that fighting a mamba means death. Even your mighty lions are afraid of this snake? Cuthbert asked in disbelief. Even our lions, Jake confirmed. The black mamba does not hunt lions, and lions do not hunt mambas. They respect each other's space. The room fell silent. The aliens were processing this information, trying to understand how such a small creature could be more dangerous than the powerful lions they had admired. This changes everything, Cuthbert said quietly. We assumed that physical strength was the only path to dominance. But this mamba shows us a different way. The way of the assassin, another alien added. Quick, silent, deadly. Jake nodded. The black mamba does not need to prove its strength to anyone. It simply needs to survive. And it has survived very well. Lisa brought up more images on the screen. They showed the black mamba in different situations, always looking calm and in control. It was a creature that commanded respect through fear rather than admiration. Your species evolved alongside creatures like this, Kethver said, his voice full of new understanding. No wonder you are different from what we expected. Different how? Jake asked. We thought you were prey animals, Kethver explained. But now we see the truth. You are predators too. You learn to survive in a world where the deadliest enemy might be the one you never see coming. The aliens looked at Jake and Lisa with new respect. They were beginning to understand that humans were not the weak, helpless creatures they had imagined. They were survivors who had learned to live in a world where death could come from the most unexpected places. The black mamba has taught us many lessons, Jake said. Sometimes the most dangerous enemy is not the one who roars the loudest. The implications of this revelation were just beginning to sink in. The aliens had come to Earth expecting to find a world of weak prey animals. Instead, they had discovered a planet where the apex predator was a silent, deadly assassin that could kill with a single bite, and they were starting to wonder what other surprises Earth might have in store for them. The meeting room remained quiet as the aliens stared at the screen. The black mamba moved through the African bush with smooth, flowing motions. Its dark body seemed to glide over rocks and through grass without making any sound. The creature looked almost peaceful, but everyone in the room now knew how deadly it really was. Kethver moved closer to the screen, his many eyes studying every detail of the snake. Show us more about this creature, he said. I want to understand how something so small can be so dangerous. Jake pressed more buttons on the computer. The screen changed to show a map of Africa with red areas marked on it. Black mambas live in these regions, he explained. They prefer dry, rocky areas with lots of places to hide. They are ambush predators, Lisa added. They do not chase their prey across open ground like lions do. Instead, they wait in hiding and strike when the prey comes close. The screen showed a black mamba hiding in a pile of rocks. It was almost impossible to see against the dark stones. Only its eyes were visible, watching and waiting for something to come near. How long can it wait? One alien asked. Hours, sometimes. Days, Jake answered. The black mamba is very patient. It does not waste energy moving around unnecessarily. It saves all its energy for the moment when it needs to strike. A new video began playing. A small antelope was walking near the rocks where the mamba was hiding. The antelope had no idea that death was waiting just a few feet away. It stopped to drink water from a small stream. The mamba moved so fast that it was difficult to see what happened. One moment it was hidden in the rocks, and the next moment it had struck the antelope and returned to its hiding place. The whole attack took less than 2 seconds. Did you see that? Kethver asked his companions. The speed of that strike was incredible. The antelope had no chance to defend itself, another alien observed. The attack was over before it even knew what happened. On the screen, the antelope stumbled and fell. It tried to get up, but its legs would not work properly. Within minutes, it was dead. The mamba did not even need to eat it right away. It simply waited, knowing that its venom had done the job. This is how the black mamba hunts, Jake explained. It does not need to fight or struggle with its prey. One bite is enough. Lisa brought up more information on her tablet. The venom is a complex mixture of toxins. It affects the nervous system, the heart, and the muscles. The victim dies from multiple organ failure. Is there any defense against this venom? Kethver asked. Very few, Jake said. Some animals have natural resistance, but even they can die if they receive multiple bites. The only real defense is to avoid the mamba completely. The screen showed different animals that lived in the same areas as black mambas. Zebras, gazelles, and even large buffalo all gave the snake plenty of space. They had learned through generations of experience that getting too close to a mamba meant death. Even elephants avoid them, Lisa said. Elephants are the largest land animals on Earth, but they will not risk fighting a black mamba. What about your lions? One alien asked. Surely. They must hunt these snakes sometimes. Jake shook his head. Lions are smart predators. They know that fighting a mamba is not worth the risk. A lion might win the fight, but it would probably die from the venom. That is not a good trade. The aliens found this hard to understand. On their world, the strongest predator fought and defeated all others. The idea that a mighty lion would avoid a small snake was difficult for them to accept. But if the lion was very careful, Kethver said, could it not kill the mamba before? Being bitten? Perhaps, Jake said. But the black mamba is extremely fast and accurate. It can strike multiple times in seconds. Even if the lion killed it, the lion would still die from the venom. A new video showed a black mamba in defensive mode. Something had threatened it, and the snake reared up with its mouth open, showing the white interior. It swayed back and forth, ready to strike at anything that came too close. This is called a threat display, Lisa explained. The mamba is warning potential enemies to stay away. Most animals recognize this signal and retreat immediately. And if they do not retreat, an alien asked, then they die, Jake said simply. The screen changed to show the mamba's fangs up close. They were hollow, like tiny needles, designed to inject venom deep into the victim's body. The fangs were not very large, but they were perfectly designed for their deadly purpose. The mamba's bite is very efficient, Lisa said. The fangs penetrate the skin and inject venom directly into the bloodstream. This allows the toxins to spread quickly through the victim's body. How intelligent is this creature? Kethver asked. Very intelligent for a reptile, Jake answered. Black mambas can learn and remember. They know the layout of their territory and the best places to hunt. They also remember dangerous situations and avoid them in the future. The aliens were impressed by this information. Intelligence combined with deadly venom made the black mamba a truly formidable predator. They are also very territorial, Lisa added. A black mamba will defend its hunting ground from other mambas. They are solitary creatures that do not work in groups like lions. So each mamba is a lone assassin, one alien said, operating independently, striking from the shadows. Exactly, Jake confirmed. They do not need backup or support. Each mamba is a complete killing machine on its own. The screen showed a black mamba moving through its territory. It knew every rock, every bush, every hiding place. This was its domain, and it ruled through fear and respect. The black mamba does not need to roar or show off its strength, Jake said. Its reputation is enough. Other animals know what it is and what it can do. And your people? Kethver asked. How do humans deal with these creatures? We respect them and keep our distance, Jake answered. In areas where black mambas live, people are very careful. They watch where they step and avoid places where mambas might be hiding. Do they ever attack humans? An alien asked. Only when they feel threatened, Lisa said. Black mambas prefer to avoid humans. They will retreat if given the chance. But if a human surprises one or corners it, the mamba will defend itself. And the result? Kethver asked, though he already knew the answer. Without immediate medical treatment, the human dies, Jake said. The venom works just as quickly on humans as it does on other animals. The aliens were quiet for a moment, processing all this information. They had come to Earth expecting to find a world of weak prey, animals. Instead, They had discovered a planet where the apex predator was a silent, deadly assassin that could kill with a single bite. "Your species has lived with these creatures for thousands of years," Kethver said slowly. "This has shaped your evolution and your culture in ways we did not expect." "How so?" Jake asked. "You have learned that the greatest threat is not always the most obvious one," Kethver explained. "You have developed skills for detecting hidden dangers and avoiding them. You have learned to respect power that comes in unexpected forms." The other aliens nodded in agreement. They were beginning to understand that humans were not the simple, weak creatures they had imagined, living alongside predators like the black. Mamba had taught humans valuable lessons about survival and adaptation. "The black mamba has taught us many things," Jake said. "It has shown us that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one you never see coming. It has taught us to be cautious, to be aware of our surroundings, and to respect power in all its forms. And these lessons have made your species stronger," Kethver said. "You may not have claws or fangs, but you have something more valuable. You have wisdom." The meeting room fell silent again as the implications of this revelation continued to sink in. The aliens had come to judge humanity based on their own understanding of strength and power. But the Black Mamba had shown them that there were other ways to be dangerous, other paths to dominance, and they were beginning to realize that humans might be more like the Black Mamba than they had first thought. The meeting room felt different now. The air seemed heavier, filled with new understanding and respect. Kethver walked slowly around the table, his claws clicking on the metal floor as he thought about everything he had learned. The other aliens stood quietly, their many eyes still focused on the screen, where the Black Mamba continued its silent movement through the African landscape. "We came here with wrong ideas," Kethver finally said. "We thought we understood what makes a species strong. We believed that size and physical power were the only things that mattered." Jake remained standing near the computer, watching the aliens carefully. He could see that their entire understanding of the universe was changing. These proud warriors, who had conquered 17 star systems through brute force, were learning that there were other ways to be powerful. "The Black Mamba has shown you a different path," one of the other aliens said. "It rules through precision, not strength, through fear, not force, and intelligence," Lisa added. "The Mamba survives because it is smart enough to know when to strike and when to retreat." Kethver nodded slowly. "Yes, intelligence. This is something we overlooked in our conquest of the galaxy. We focused so much on physical strength that we forgot about the power of the mind." The War Prime stopped walking and faced Jake directly. "Your species, humans, you are like the Black Mamba, are you not?" Jake considered the question carefully. "In some ways, yes. We are not the largest or strongest species on Earth, but we have survived and thrived because we learned to adapt." "You learned to use tools," Kethver said. "You learned to work together. You learned to think your way out of problems instead of fighting your way out." "Exactly," Jake confirmed. "When early humans faced predators like lions and other dangerous animals, we could not match their strength or speed. So we developed weapons. We built shelters. We learned to use fire." Lisa pressed some buttons on her tablet, and the screen changed to show early human settlements. "Our ancestors lived in constant danger from predators. This taught us to be careful, to plan ahead, to work as a team. And like the Black Mamba," Jake continued, "we learned that sometimes the best defense is not to fight at all, but to avoid a fight entirely." The aliens listened carefully as Jake explained how humans had developed agriculture, medicine, and technology, not through conquest, but through cooperation and innovation. They built cities with walls not to attack others, but to protect themselves from the dangerous predators that shared their world. "We learned from the Black Mamba that true power does not always announce itself," Jake said. Sometimes the most dangerous creature is the quiet one that nobody notices until it is too late. Kethvar's compound eyes reflected understanding. And now you have spread across your entire planet. You have built flying machines and sailing ships. You have reached into space itself, all without having natural claws or fangs. Another alien added. You did this with your minds. Lisa nodded. Humans became the apex predator on Earth, not by being the strongest, but by being the smartest. We learned to use our environment instead of fighting against it. The screen showed images of modern human cities, with tall buildings reaching toward the sky and lights that could be seen from space. It was a display of power very different from the raw physical strength the aliens were used to. Your cities are like termite mounds, one alien observed, but much more complex. You have created artificial environments where you can live safely. And from these safe places, you reach out to explore the galaxy, Kethvar said, just as the black mamba controls its territory from hidden places. Jake could see that the aliens were making connections they had never made before. They were starting to understand that there were many different ways to be powerful, and that humans represented a completely different approach to survival and dominance. We have been wrong about many things, Kethvar admitted. We thought that military conquest was the only way to build an empire. We believed that fear of physical violence was the only way to maintain order. But the black mamba rules through. A different kind of fear, Lisa said. The fear of hidden danger, of death that comes without warning. And humans rule through yet another kind of power, Jake added. The power to change the world around us, to solve problems, to adapt to any environment. Kethvar walked back to the window where Jake had been standing when this meeting began. He looked out at the stars, perhaps seeing them differently now than he had before. The Galactic Combat Federation has conquered many worlds, he said quietly. But we have also destroyed much beauty and potential. We forced other species to submit to our way of thinking. There is another way, Jake said. Instead of conquest, there can be cooperation. Instead of forcing others to be like you can learn from their differences. The War Prime turned back to face the humans. You speak of cooperation, but what can we offer you? We are warriors, trained only for battle. Every species has something valuable to contribute, Lisa said. Your people have advanced technology, knowledge of space travel, and experience with many different worlds. These things could help humanity explore the galaxy safely. And what would we gain from this cooperation? Another alien asked. Jake smiled. You would learn new ways of thinking, new approaches to problems. You might discover that there are threats in the galaxy that cannot be defeated with strength alone. Threats like the Black Mamba, Kethvar said with understanding. Hidden. Dangers that require intelligence and caution to overcome. Exactly, Jake confirmed. The galaxy is vast and full of mysteries. Some of those mysteries might be deadly in ways we cannot imagine. Working together, we might be able to face challenges that would defeat any of us alone. The aliens talked among themselves in their clicking language for several minutes. Jake and Lisa waited patiently, knowing that this was a crucial moment. The decisions made here could affect the future of both species. Finally, Kethvar spoke. We have spent our entire existence believing that strength was the only truth in the universe. Today, a small snake has taught us that we were wrong. What will you do now? Jake asked. We will return to our Federation with a new understanding, Kethvar said. We will tell them about the humans who learned to survive alongside creatures like the Black Mamba. We will recommend that humanity be invited to join the Federation not as subjects, but as equals. And as teachers, another alien added. You can show us these new ways of thinking you have developed. Lisa stepped forward. We would be honored to share our knowledge, but we would also like to learn from you. The exchange of ideas benefits everyone. Agreed, Kethver said. Perhaps the Black Mamba's greatest lesson is that true strength comes from understanding, not from ignorance. Jake walked over to the computer and turned off the screen. The image of the Black Mamba disappeared, but its impact would last much longer. There is one more thing you should know, Jake said. The Black Mamba is just one example. Earth has many creatures that survive through intelligence, adaptation, and unexpected abilities. Each one has taught us different lessons. We would like to learn about them all, Kethver said. If we are to work together, we must understand each other completely. The meeting was ending, but Jake knew it was really just the beginning. The aliens had come expecting to find a weak species suitable only for conquest. Instead, they had discovered potential allies who could teach them new ways of seeing the universe. As the Zeltharian delegation prepared to leave, Kethver approached Jake one final time. Commander Morrison, you have given us much to think about. When we return, we will speak highly of your species. And we will remember that true strength comes in many forms, Jake replied. Sometimes it roars like a lion, and sometimes it strikes silently like a mamba. The aliens left the space station with their understanding of the universe forever changed. They had learned that the most dangerous predator was not always the biggest or strongest. Sometimes it was the one that could think, adapt, and strike from the shadows. And perhaps most importantly, they had learned that humans were the apex predators of their own world, not through conquest, but through intelligence, cooperation, and the wisdom to learn from every creature around them, even the smallest and most deadly ones. The Black Mamba had taught both species a valuable lesson. The true power lies not in what others can see, but in what they cannot predict. And in the vast darkness of space, that lesson might prove to be the most important one of all.